SOPs are officially dead. I'm declaring it. You need playbooks in your agency. And here's how to use a playbook and also how I cut training times in half in the process. But first, here's the difference between an SOP and a playbook because you're going to need to understand this before you implement it. Number one is that SOPs are usually text heavy. And you know what I mean. You're sent this SOP and it's just this giant wall of text that's very hard to comprehend and to understand. The second thing is an SOP is written by a manager. It's usually written by a leader in the company and not by people who do the work. And the third part of an SOP is that it's not routinely updated. The manager will create the SOP once, and then maybe next year they'll take a look at the SOP again to see how they can improve it. And this is not a very efficient method for creating SOPs, and it's not a very effective method for having the team learn and continuously improve it. So I tend to use what I call playbooks, and playbooks are visual heavy. So they're going to be showing you how to do the work, not just telling you how to do the work. They're written by the team with a manager's guidance. So it's not the manager who's saying, this is how things should be done. It's the team saying, this is how we do things. And the manager is saying, okay, well, what if we did this? What if we change this? How can we improve this better? And guiding them on making a better process. So you're not the bottleneck in making better processes. And then lastly, they are updated routinely for continuous improvement. And I'm talking about daily and weekly, these things are looked at to how can we improve the process times or the lead times or remove things or make things better in this so that your process is consistently being improved. So how do you create a playbook? And here are 5 essential elements. Number one is visual process mapping. So at the very top of a playbook, and I'm going to show you an example, is it includes a process value stream for quick understanding, not just literally, let me visualize this. This is the process value stream, right? You see how easy that was to understand when I just showed you this versus to read it to you? But this is what most SOPs look like, which is not very functional. It also allows team members to grasp the entire workflow at a glance. So you can look at this and in 5 seconds understand what this process is and how it's done versus a traditional SOP, like my eyes glaze over when I see it. It pains me now that I understand how to create really good processes using playbooks. The second part of a playbook is creating detailed task instructions. And this means very clear instructions for each step, extremely clear and detailed so that you could not miss a step if you try. And the second part of this is we want to capture what's called tribal knowledge that's often lost in traditional SOPs. And tribal knowledge is that knowledge that's in your head or it's in the head of the expert that's doing the process that only they know and only they can do it because they've been doing it for a decade. We want to get that on paper as much as possible or in a loom or somewhere so that knowledge isn't just sitting in their head. It's in a place where the team can understand it. The third part is it's a team-driven creation. So playbooks are a collaborative effort between managers and team members. It is not a manager directing. It is a manager coaching and guiding team members on how to do this thing better. And they're also, for that reason, frequently updated by the team with the manager's guidance. Again, like this is a daily occurrence in my companies is process improvement. How can we make this thing better? Not like we're creating this once a year, every quarter, and then updating it. And it's a pain to update. Like we're doing this every day. Number 4 is dynamic and flexible. So we're continuously updating these things based on feedback and new learnings, which is why they tend to change daily because we're always learning new things. And they also adapt to changing business needs and more importantly, client demands, because you can update these every day based on a client specific playbook where we know this client wants this, this is what they value. Therefore, this is what we should give specifically to this client. So we want to measure the average completion time for a task. And this is going to help us to identify bottlenecks and to optimize the team capacity because we understand how long it takes to do this thing. Therefore, we can gauge capacity. And then a secondary benefit of this is it also allows us to shrink the lead times, which is the total time that it takes to complete the process plus any waiting, right? So it might only take an hour to write an email, but it might take 3 weeks to deliver that email because there's back and forth with the client. And once you're taking a look at these times consistently, you're able to figure out why does it take so long to do this whole process and then shrink lead times as well. And the result of this, there's a bunch of benefits, is everyone on the team knows exactly what to do and how long that should take. So I like to say that playbooks are a learning process because the whole team is learning exactly how to do this thing and how long it should take. So that they're going to get better at the whole process. The team also owns the playbook, as I mentioned, and they're going to continuously improve it. And this is driven on a daily basis. You're going to cut training times by half. I'm not even joking. Like, if you don't have any processes like this or use SOPs, creating a playbook like this can cut your training time in half because they're just that much more effective and efficient than an SOP. And then also, added benefit, cross training your team becomes a lot easier because you have these beautifully written playbooks that the team knows and understands. So it's really easy to integrate them into it. So stop making SOPs and you should start making playbooks. And here's what a playbook looks like. I just included an example from a masterclass that I gave on playbooks and the agency operators community. But there's 5 key elements. And the first one is this visual process stream up here, which you can see very clearly how long this thing should take and what the steps are. The second part is the individual tasks in the process, clearly written out. And these also match these here conveniently. The third element is these key points here. And again, this is going to be that tribal knowledge. And these are things that are related to effectiveness and efficiency of the process, as well as visuals. So you can understand how to do these things as well. And then the fourth element here is the process time. And this is just the average time that it takes to do that process. And this might be a single number, or it might be 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So it might be a range of numbers depending upon how variable that process is. And then the last is task visuals. So we're adding these visuals here, or even videos of things that are important for people to understand. Hey, this is Kyle Hunt with Agency Operators Level Up. If you enjoyed this content, subscribe to my newsletter below. Thanks.